Hey everybody, it's episode 208 of PodQuest.
Nice. 208, nice.
It is Tuesday, August 21st, 2018. I am Chris. With me is Walnut.
Yeah, I'm right here.
And Druten.
Hello.
Of course, Walnut's messing with his microphone now, so it's going to sound all weird.
Oh, stop. I was just turning it, that's all. And I squeezed the thing so I know it doesn't rub anything. Like, I got this.
No, you're still playing with the cord.
Well, it's turning the mic and it's easy to grip it.
This guy. 208 episodes, he still doesn't know how this stuff works.
I know how it works, I just didn't realize it was out of center.
So how you guys doing?
My back hurts.
Yeah, you're fine.
You'll live.
Have you taken anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, because it's just one of those, like, it's going to be shitty for a few days.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a muscle thing, so it's if I move the wrong way, it just, like, twings that pain and then ramps it all back up again.
Yeah. I have been there several times. Know how it feels, unfortunately.
Yep.
So, Gamescom's happening right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't know. I believe it's already started anyway. There's already some news coming out of it. This is actually the first time since, like, E3 that there has been a lot of gaming news.
Yeah.
Which is nice. First one that I have is Devil May Cry 5 has a release date.
When's that?
March 8th of 2019.
Okay.
So 2 weeks after every other game in 2019 comes out.
I thought that was January 20. No, it's February.
February 22nd is when
February 22nd.
every game comes out.
I thought it was January 28th for some reason, but
That I want to say the January 29th is Kingdom Hearts 3.
the January 26th was Monster Hunter, so that's why
Yeah.
January is always in
But
my head right now.
Kingdom Hearts does come out in January,
Yeah.
and then it's like Days Gone and a bunch of other stuff all comes out on the 22nd.
Days Gone's finally coming out.
Yeah,
No one's gonna care.
we talked about this.
I know.
2 months ago.
I'm making a joke. 'Cause-
I mean, nobody already cares.
exactly.
You know what I didn't realize until I think it was like over the weekend. Sony Bend is who's making Days Gone.
Right.
Yeah.
The last game they released was Uncharted on the Vita.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that's a long time for just nothing.
Yeah, sure
It
is.
is.
Especially for a first party. Oh, actually, no. I guess it's really not that long for a first party Sony studio like that. Because I mean, look at Last Guardian.
Oh yeah.
That was Japan studio, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, Devil May Cry 5, March 8th, 2019.
Awesome. I know they released a new trailer for it yesterday, I think, or the other day.
Yeah, there was no
I didn't
trailer
watch
for it. I think it's cool that we're already getting a release date for it. Hopefully the release date sticks. Just because, I mean, the game was announced at E3.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that'll be sweet to look forward to.
Yeah. And then next up, Supermassive Games. They did Until Dawn and the VR Inpatient game, which was a prequel to the Until Dawn universe.
Yeah.
Announced that they're going to be doing a horror like anthology series.
Okay.
Hopefully they're all going to be in the same vein as Until Dawn, because that sort of story-driven game like worked really well. Like they did a really good job with that. There was a trailer released for one of them called The Man of Medan. It's the little synopsis thing is a group of divers investigating a World War II shipwreck who then appear to discover horrors buried in a plane wreck at the bottom of the ocean. The player will take control of all 5 divers in the course of the story. So like anything underwater like that tends to be creepy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Underwater games have been becoming big. Like that's gonna be a lot of people love it.
Yeah, and the one thing of note is this Dark Picture anthology thing is actually going to be multi-platform.
Okay.
Which up until now, I think all of Supermassive's games have been published by Sony. So this is kind of, I don't know whether the Inpatient didn't do well enough that Sony just doesn't want to do exclusivity for their titles. But I mean that's good for people that want to play on PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
Did either of you guys play Until Dawn?
No, never got around to it.
I have it. I have because I got it for free.
Yeah, it was a few
on
months
PS
ago.
Plus. It was a while ago. But I never played.
It's good.
Yeah.
I would highly. It's a good like just kind of like sit down when you want to play something, but you don't necessarily want to play something because like it's very story driven. So there's not a lot of like action. Like you don't have to worry about like combat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very like story driven, and the mechanics are pretty basic. You know.
Yeah.
It's walk around, interact, talk, make decisions.
I played like the first 10 minutes of it. Like, I didn't get really anywhere. It was like a year ago. About a year. It was over a year ago when I played it, and not that I didn't like it, I just never got into it further than what I played of it.
That's fair. Sorry, I'm just typing something. Where did that page go? Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night.
I saw this.
It's delayed again.
Okay.
Shocker.
It's also been canceled on Vita.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess it must have been a Kickstarter backer update, I believe, went out.
Probably.
And it's basically saying that after the beta that they just had for backers, they decided to delay the game again to make some changes. So this game is just never coming out.
Okay.
Right now, it's delayed till 2019.
Okay.
Like the announcement literally just says the game will now launch in 2019.
Well,
So
To be honest, I didn't even know it was like supposed to come out this year.
yeah, it was this year, and it was 3 years ago, and 2 years ago, and last year, and it's just never coming. But yeah, they also announced in the thing that because Sony is ceasing production of physical cartridges for the Vita, that they're just gonna skip doing the Vita version altogether.
Yep.
Which, like, I don't know, they should be far enough along that version should already be as far along as every other version. Like, just release it digitally. Like,
Well, I also believe in that post they talk about that the digital stores are also being changed on the Vita and possibly shutting down.
So they did mention that, but I haven't seen that anywhere else. I know physical cartridges are no longer going to be manufactured, but I don't see any reason for them to shut down the Vita store when there's still titles up there. And like games have been coming out for it like recently. I think Guacamelee 2 came out on Vita. Man, your cats are not getting along right now.
he's an asshole. He's a fat ass.
I mean, the black one started it.
No, the fat one just is an ass. So they're both the black one's a jerk. The fat one's an ass.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the fat one was just kind of minding his own business, and your black cat came running in and started shit. And
but he just wants to play. He wants a friend.
Well, maybe you should get him a friend.
I can't get him a friend.
But yeah, that's just so if people backed Bloodstained on Vita, they have the option of either getting a refund or switching it to a different platform. So, I mean, that's not so bad. But at the same time, I feel like at this point, a lot of people that back that game don't even remember it. Like, they probably backed it on Vita and don't remember backing it.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people who backed it for Vita, and yet they're not going to claim any of that because they're just like, oh shit, I changed my email address since then, and I don't even use it.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like, it's been so long.
Oh, sorry, the wording was they're stopping certain online stores support features for the Vita. So, what that means, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it would be dumb to not sell the games. Like, selling digital games to people that still have the system when your PSN is integrated the way theirs is?
It's possible they are shutting down the ability to make any more games, add any new games to the servers for sale.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it would all depend on how long it's going to take them to even put this game out. Like, if 2019 means Christmas 2019, then yeah. But if it's going to come out first quarter, like, that just seems silly. It's going to be funny when, like, the good version of Bloodstained is going to be the prequel that was released on Switch.
Yeah.
Because for some reason I have a feeling that this game's going to come out and it's going to be like Mighty Number 9. Like, it's not going to be what people wanted and everyone's going to fucking trash it.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in it, so I don't really pay attention to it, so I have nothing to say. Like, I've never been big on Castlevania in general, and I know that's what this game is really going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's Symphony of the Night, which is like a very particular kind of Castlevania.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I've ever played it.
So, I mean, Symphony of the Night is why it's called Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
Like the old Castlevania games don't have that same style. Like, it was Metroid and then Symphony of the Night, where that very, like, go where you kind of want to go in the map, and, you know, there'll be blocks that you can't get past certain things until you get, like, an item or an ability or beat a boss.
Yeah, and I get that one. Like, I've played Metroid,
It's fucking history, man.
I don't really care for Castlevania.
You know, I did forget that Sony said that after next March, Vita games aren't part of PS Plus anymore.
Yeah, that I did remember.
So that would sort of make sense to them kind of shutting down certain aspects of PSN on the Vita.
I feel like they're kind of just running out of free games that they can even put up.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Let's see. This is actually another big one. Amazon, I don't want to say underhandedly, but I can't think of a better way to put it, announced that they are doing away with the 20% off for pre-orders on video games. Yep. They did not announce it in any sort of useful way. It was a Twitch Prime email.
Okay.
So, like, I got an email yesterday, and it was like, changes to your Twitch Prime account. And the majority of the email was saying that Twitch Prime is no longer going to be ad-free, that, like, ads will play if, I guess, channels have them enabled or help. I don't really know how ads work on Twitch to begin with. Like, I don't watch enough Twitch to ever really get them to be, anyway.
Yeah.
Plus I've had Twitch Prime because I've had Amazon Prime, so.
Yeah.
But, like, the last paragraph of this email said, oh yeah, and we're getting rid of the 20% discount if you pre-order games. Effective August 29th, I want to say, or 28th.
28th.
So if you pre-order it now, like if you pre-order a game right now through the 28th, you'll get the 20% off when it releases. So you'll pay like the $50-ish after tax and everything. After that, you are going to get a gift card on select items for $10 in Amazon that you can use on most things. So like, still cool, I guess, if you shop on Amazon a lot.
Yeah, that's like,
but
that's stupid. I don't shop on Amazon enough to make that worthwhile, so it looks like I'm going to be going to stores again and stuff, buying my games.
I mean, the shitty part is, like, the only store you can buy games from is GameStop, and we don't have any good GameStops around here. Everyone you go to, they're a bunch of fucking scumbags, and it's all because of their district manager.
Yeah.
Like, the only reason I don't shop at GameStop is because of the way that they deal with their product. Like, I don't pre-order games. Like, I barely pre-order them on Amazon with the discount. Like, I don't want to have to make, like, a trip to a GameStop to give you $5 before a game comes out so that I can then make another trip to your store to buy the game later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then also deal with them being like, well, do you want this? Do you want this? Can you reserve this? Do you want a subscription? Do you want the, protection plan?
Yeah, I mean, that's never been a big issue to me. Like, honestly, I haven't been excited. I haven't been happy with Amazon and their delivery anyway. I've never gotten, like when the, Switch came out, I pre-ordered the Switch, but I didn't get the Switch till like 3 o'clock. Same with pretty much every game that I took off to play. I didn't get that game till 2, 3 o'clock.
So,
and I'm like,
that's not Amazon's fault. That's just how things ship. Like, when it's coming through a courier service, like, whether it's UPS, USPS, FedEx, like, Amazon has no control over that.
I'm not saying it's, I'm just saying I'm not happy with the fact that I have to wait so late to get my game when I could have either gotten it digitally at midnight or gotten it physically at GameStop at midnight or 9 o'clock in the morning. So I was just like, the only reason I had an Amazon Prime was for the 20% off. Now that 20% off isn't going to happen. I'll just go.
You
out
already
and buy
don't
the
have
game.
Prime anymore anyway.
Yeah,
right?
I canceled it, and I was gonna pick it back up once I had the money, but without the 20% off, I don't use Amazon enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I shop for everything. It's easier to find stuff on Amazon than to go wander through a store.
I need human interaction. I live alone.
I don't.
I know.
I get enough human interaction.
Yeah, but it's not too surprising that they're getting rid of it after Best Buy got rid of theirs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I mean, honestly, like, Amazon, enough companies are either shorting stock to Amazon or just pulling product altogether. Like, big companies. Like, you can always find, like, your random little stuff on there, but you can almost never buy Marvel movies within the first 6 months of them being out on Amazon. Like, I was trying to get Infinity War, and it's just not available on Amazon. And it's not even like it's on, like, a delay or anything like that. It's unavailable to purchase through them directly. And a lot of games are like that, too. Like, anytime new controllers or Nintendo stuff comes out, it's just not available.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, at this point, I'd rather just buy the games digitally than deal with, like, if Best Buy had a better stock, because they just don't seem to get a lot of stuff in. Like, new big stuff comes in always. But, like, a lot of the other stuff is just, like, their game section is always really scarce. At least Deptford and Cherry Hill are.
Yeah.
Like, they're almost empty. And really poorly organized. It's like nobody goes over there to, like, fix shit ever. Which I worked in, like, a store like that. Like, part of the job was going over and like putting games back to where they were supposed to be at the end of the night.
I mean, and it's most of the kids that are working at GameStop now are the kids like, oh, I'm going to work at GameStop and I can be playing video games all day, and then they just don't do any work.
Well, I was talking about Best Buy.
Oh yeah, I don't go into Best Buy either. I don't.
I go to Best Buy just not for games because it's kind of barren over there.
Yeah, it's
like they have like their end cap with like Madden on it and Call of Duty, and that's about it.
I mean, they have those AAA titles that they know they're going to sell.
But yeah, like Spider-Man, I'll probably just buy digitally. Like I want to play that right away. I don't want to go deal with a person at GameStop, so buy it digitally. Especially because the only GameStop that doesn't have a bunch of like douchebags working there in this area is the one in Summerdale, and that's just a little too far.
Yeah.
Actually, the Locust Grove is like hit or miss. Like there's like 3 people that work there that are really cool. Everyone else is just way too pushy and know-it-all.
See, I don't go to GameStop often enough to know how douchey people are, how pushy. Anytime I've been to GameStop, I walk up, I want to buy this. Okay, you want it? No, buy. Like I've never.
So I guess I go when they're slow enough that they try to push everything. And it's one of those like, if I'm going, this has always been my complaint. If I'm going in and handing somebody something super obscure that's, you know, in no way related to like a sports game, why are you going to try and push Madden on me? Like, why not like just ask, is there anything I want to reserve rather than, cause it's not too much just saying, do you want to reserve like a Madden or a Call of Duty? Like, Audubon in particular has always been like this. They push and they don't take no for an answer.
But you gotta also think how many, like, are you saying like every time you visit they push this specific game? Or
they always push like specific games, and rather than just like, and like I said, I'm good with, do you want to reserve anything? Such and such is coming out soon. And I'm just like, no, I'm good. I don't play that game. Instead, what they do in Audubon is like, do you want to reserve Call of Duty that comes out in November? I'm like, no, I don't play Call of Duty. They're like, oh, well, you should, like, you're not going to be able to pick it up when it comes out. Like, we're not going to have any copies, so you should really reserve it now in case you decide you want it. And they just keep doing that over and over again rather than just going like, okay.
I've never had that experience.
That's always my experience in Audubon.
Yeah, I've never had that experience in any GameStop.
Audubon's the only one that particular one happens. That store has always just been bad, though. It's either been people that are too pushy, or like back when I worked at GameStop, that was the store where nobody gave a fuck there. And they used to just close the store 45 minutes early if they saw people coming up with trades. Like legit, like they used to go over, lock the door, pull the gate down, and then just sit on the counter and stare at the people knocking on the door. And then those people would inevitably call my store and be like, hey, like, are you guys still open? Audubon's closed, and the guys are just sitting there staring at us.
Jeez.
Like, I wish that was a joke, but I had that exact thing happen more than once.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the employees sometimes, but I don't know. I've never had a bad experience, that's all I'm saying.
That's fine. I have. I have had more bad experiences at a GameStop than good ones. Walmart's hit or miss too. Like, they don't always have what you're looking for, but Walmart has a better game selection, so does Target, than Best Buy does. And that just seems backwards.
No, that makes sense to me.
I feel like the electronics store should have more games than
the superstore that has everything.
Yeah, but like they're a store that has everything, so they're not supposed to have large quantities of everything. Like, look at their movies. Like, Walmart and Target don't have. Actually, Target has a really good movie selection. Walmart doesn't. But like Best Buy has a great movie selection.
Their sales just aren't in video games. Like,
I mean, Walmart is the biggest retailer in the U.S. Like, they buy and sell the most things.
That's fair.
That is why they have a larger game selection.
And none of their employees care.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys ever asked somebody at Walmart where something is?
No, because I know they don't.
Not only do they not know, they won't even try to point you in the right direction.
Oh, of course not.
Like, I've had it, like, I've asked a couple of times just because, like, if the person's in that section, I'm hoping maybe they can at least point me to, like, the aisle something's in. And, like, I had one lady one time, and she was, like, a little bit older, so, like, she apparently had, like, morals and, like, was raised to, like, be nice to people. But, like, I've asked some people, like, in the Audubon Walmart, actually, and they've just walked away from me. Like, they don't say no or, like, anything like that. They just kind of look up and then walk away. I'm like, what?
Maybe they're walking you towards where the thing is.
No.
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 I would follow them, see what happens. Next time you do that, next time that happens, follow him, see what happens.
Just walk behind and be like, this doesn't look like the right aisle. I was asking you where, like, this was, but we're in the baby clothes section.
You never know what could happen.
But yeah, it's a bummer that Amazon is getting rid of that. Like, it doesn't affect me too much. I mean, it doesn't really affect you either since you don't have Prime anymore. And Drew, you don't have Prime, do you?
Oh, I do.
You do.
But I don't ever buy games off Amazon. Although, well, because for a while I had the Best Buy rewards thing.
Right.
Until this April, I think, is when it expired. Like, it expired right after they canceled it. Like, they stopped doing it.
Did you think about trying to go in and, like, renew it right beforehand?
Yeah. Turned out I should have.
But yeah, it's, if that $10 gift card thing applies to, digital games, I'd probably still order stuff off of there. Cause, like, I'm gonna buy the game anyway. It's gonna, if it's a new game, it's gonna be full price on PSN if I'm buying it digitally. Mm-hmm. If I can get a $10 gift card on Amazon for spending that $60, like, why not? But I know a lot of people did like I can actually buy this game when it comes out because it's gonna be $11 cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now you just save up that $11 before it comes out. That's all.
But it would have been $11 cheaper. Why do I have to save up the $11 now?
Well, no, you wait 7 months until it's dropped in price a little bit, and then pick it up at GameStop.
I mean, I could do that.
It'll only drop about $4 in those 7 months.
Or I could just get it day of physical copy from GameStop instead of.
But then you're still getting it for full price.
But I'd be getting it for full price at Amazon anyway.
Yeah,
and
so
I'd be getting it on time this time.
Why not just buy it digital so you can load it at midnight and play it as soon as you wake up?
I like physical copies of shit sometimes. Depends on the game.
The funny thing, I think it's funny that you like physical copies because you had that complaint the one time that it was too much of a hassle to change games, which is why the only game you were playing was Monster Hunter.
Oh no, yeah, it's not a hassle to change games, but I was afraid that if I did change games, I wouldn't change back to Monster Hunter.
That would have been a good thing.
No, it wouldn't have, because I would have stopped playing. And I enjoyed Monster Hunter.
Anyway, remember when Shenmue 3 got announced in, like, 2012?
Sort of.
Yeah.
I don't think it was 2012. What was it, 2015 maybe?
I think so.
Yeah, 2015. E3 2015, Shenmue 3 was announced. Finally has a release date. Probably will not stick, but it has a release date.
Of when?
August 27th, 2019.
Okay.
So, this time, in 1 year, people can play Shenmue 3.
It might stick. You never know.
No, it won't.
You never know.
I don't believe that for a second. I know the Shenmue 1 and 2, like, HD collection or whatever they're calling it, just came out too. So if you guys were interested in playing Shenmue, you can play both of them in preparation for 3.
I've got a year for it, so.
I mean, those games are long. They might take you a year.
No. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know.
So, moving on to a game that's actually coming out soon.
Uh-huh.
There was a story trailer got released for Life is Strange 2.
Oh. Yeah, I saw that it got released yesterday, I believe.
Yeah. That is going to be a very different game than I expected. Apparently, the kid that you play as in the Captain Spirit game, not the character you play in Life is Strange 2. Not even like the secondary character that's like with you the whole time.
Really?
Weird. Yeah. So it looks like in Life is Strange 2, you're going to be playing as two brothers, like an older brother who's like a 16, 17-year-old, and a younger brother who I think is 8 or 9, like under 10 years old, like young enough that like he needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And I guess I forget exactly how it happens, but like something bad happens. I believe your parents die, or you just otherwise have to run away from home. And it's like you and this brother like living basically on the run from everybody.
Yeah.
And you have to take care of your brother and make all the decisions and stuff that you would make in Life is Strange and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And I guess the character Chris that you play as in Life is Strange is going to be involved in it somehow. I'm assuming it's still going to be him older.
Probably.
Like, I feel like the Captain Spirit stuff is not going to be that's not going to be the time period that it's happening. It's probably like that, maybe like 5 years later where he's like 16 also. Like, maybe he's friends with the actual player character.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess that they're trying to go from the Seattle area to Mexico.
Interesting.
Which, the first Life is Strange took place in Washington State also. And I believe that's where Captain Spirit game took place also, was in somewhere around Seattle.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, not at I honestly thought the game was going to center around the kid from Captain Spirit. Like, I thought he was going to be the player character as a teenager, dealing with the fact that, like, his dad's kind of, like, at the very least, emotionally abusive and an alcoholic.
Yeah, and the fact that, well, no, I don't want to spoil it, because I saw the ending, so.
Of Captain Spirit?
Yeah, he can fly.
I mean, he can't fly necessarily. He floated for a second, but, so the theory is, you see the neighbor kids, like, across the street, or at least kid. I think it's like the kid and, like, a parent has their back turned.
Yeah.
The theory is that the kid is actually floating him, and that kid might actually be the one that you're playing, like, as a 16-year-old in Life is Strange 2.
Oh, interesting.
So, like, they would have been neighbors.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, like, that game comes out September 27th, so it's not that far away.
Yeah.
Or at least episode 1 comes out on the 27th.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to. I will definitely be picking that up when it comes out.
Okay. I still haven't played any of the others, so we'll see what I decide to do.
You're just the worst.
I'd never played them.
Life is Strange 1 was free.
Gee, I think I might actually have it.
You probably didn't, because you always forget to download
I think that is one of the games that I did remember to get. I just haven't played it.
It's not that big of a time commitment.
I know. Monster Hunter was a big time commitment, so I haven't played anything other than that for a long time.
That's true. So did either of you see that Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to have its own take on the Nemesis system?
No.
Yeah, so it's going to have, like, I guess mercenaries that are going to play similar to the Nemesis system. I'm trying to find the actual line for it in this article. Yeah, so it's going to be the mercenaries of Assassin. So, like, people out to specifically take out Assassin. And, like, they each have strengths and weaknesses, unique attributes, very similar to the Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor.
Okay.
And, like, that was a really cool system.
Yeah. I love that system in that game.
Yeah, it looks like Odyssey, they're legit, like, from what I've seen so far in Origins, like, they've changed a lot, and it looks like Odyssey is changing even more.
Yeah.
Which is, like, a good thing. Like, that game, that's one of those series where it definitely needs the
overhaul.
The overhaul, yeah. But I'm also excited to see another company try, like, a Nemesis-like system.
Yeah, that would make an interesting turn for the Assassin's Creed games, having something like that, where, hopefully it's not like Shadow Mordor, where, like, they're in their own section, own areas, and more of also, like Shadow Mordor, where they wander and not just stay in a place. Like, if they wander, that'll be better. Like, they're chasing after you throughout the entire game instead of just like, oh, you happen upon them. They're like they're a few steps behind you, and if you take too long doing something, they're gonna come up on you.
Yeah, I know. So, where I'm at in Origin right now, I did recently get, like, an alert that after I killed a guy, there are now people hunting me.
Huh.
Like, some sort of elite guards are hunting me, and they may pop up at any time. So I feel like this might be kind of an expansion to that.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
I haven't run into these guys yet, but there is, like, this weird symbol on my map nail ever since I saw that, and I'm not sure if it's them or not, but I'm purposely, like, steering clear of that, just in case. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. And I think, what is that? Is that a November game or a late October game?
I think it's usually a November game.
Yeah, but you know how, like, the last couple of years, some of those November games have, like, come out, like, late October instead?
Yeah.
Like, I think Origins came out late October. So we talked about this last week a little bit, Drew. Diablo 3 got officially announced for Switch.
Right.
So time for you to buy a Switch.
Listen, I haven't bought any of the other versions of Diablo 3. I don't know why I would buy the Switch one.
So you can play it on the go.
I mean, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Sure.
Like, think about it this way. You take it to work, you kickstand it with its weak-ass little kickstand on your desk, and through your lunch break, you fight the minions of Diablo.
While I'm paying for their online service. Probably not.
It's $10 a year.
$20 a year.
I thought it was $10 a year.
It's $20 a year.
Still, it's $20 a year.
Hold on. I'll do you one better. I already have a group of friends that are doing a family plan. We've got 3 people already. A 4th. It would be $10 a year. Boom. Actually, it'd be less than $10.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to figure out
that math doesn't work out, and I wanted to know how you were getting screwed on this.
It would be it'd be $9 a year. Excuse me, $8.50, whatever. It's $35 for family plan.
Oh, okay.
See,
I'm sorry.
Come on, guys! They announced this last week. Family plan is $35 a year, up to 8 accounts.
I forgot
can be linked to it.
I completely forgot the family plans were like $15 more expensive.
Yeah, but we have so far 3 people, so we're going to be paying just over $10 a piece.
So, are you guys sure it's going to work the way you want it to?
Worst case scenario, we cancel it, and everybody gets their own.
That's true.
Because my understanding was it doesn't work the way you think it's going to.
They haven't really said how it's going to work.
That's the problem.
So your understanding is wrong because they haven't said it. All they say is up to 8 accounts can be linked with this. Doesn't say like location based. It doesn't say on one system. It just says up to 8 accounts.
I thought
it says it can be separate systems as well.
I thought there was something about the location, but
no, there wasn't anything about location. But yeah, Richie is right because it was specifically pointed out for people that have multiple Switches in their family, so that this way, if I have a Switch and Erica has a Switch and she wants to also have cloud saves, she doesn't have to spend another $20.
Yeah, I have it right here. Family membership, a Nintendo account holder may invite up to 7 others to join a family group. All members of the group will have access to Nintendo Switch Online. So,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it does work the way that everyone. I wouldn't be surprised if it works the way that you're thinking it's going to work. I just don't expect it to work well because it's Nintendo, and even after 15 years, they still have the mentality of nobody wants to play online. Because if they didn't, this would not have taken them a year and a half to launch, nor would it be as ass backwards as it has been so far. But hey, cloud saves, maybe.
No, definitely.
Look, they're saying there's going to be cloud saves. I don't necessarily believe it's going to launch with it, even though they're saying right now it will. Just like they told us that friend codes wouldn't be a thing when the Switch launched, but they're still fucking a thing. And it's Nintendo. Like, their cloud saves are probably going to be something totally different, and it's not actually going to save your entire game. You're still going to need your local save data, and you're not going to be able to transfer it or something stupid.
We'll see. It's only $20 a year. So
exactly. And I mean, if it's $20 a year and there's some sort of, and that streaming game thing, like whatever the not virtual console option thing is, if they have enough good titles available, the $20 becomes worth it.
Yeah.
But if it's just Dr. Mario, which I think is one of the titles announced now, then no, that's not right at all.
You don't want to play online Dr. Mario?
I don't want to play offline Dr. Mario. Like nothing against Dr. Mario. I played for about 2 hours on the SNES Classic.
No,
it was SNES Classic, right?
No, that was an NES game.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Right now, the 10 launch titles they have for it are Soccer, Donkey Kong, Super Mario Bros., Ice Climbers, Legend of Zelda, Tennis, Mario Bros., Balloon Fight, Dr. Mario, and Super Mario Bros. 3.
Also,
it launches the games with 20, so we have 10 more that they haven't announced.
All the games they've announced are NES games.
Well, yeah, it is the Play NES game. It's the Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Switch Online. It's the NES system. That's what they say it is. It's NES. They didn't say it was going to be anything else as of yet.
Yeah, like they never really. At no point did they make people believe that it was going to be anything else, as far as I know.
I swore they said NES and SNES games.
No.
I'm on the official Nintendo site and it says NES. So if they said it in the past, maybe it's something they're going to do in the future. But when they initially announced this, they also said that the games were going to cycle in and out to where you could only play them per month, where this is saying that games are going to be added regularly, so it could be that you get all the games are always going to be available.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not enough to say whether or not, how good or bad this is going to be yet, and how all of this is going to work.
But it's going to be the end of September, so we'll know soon. Anyway, Diablo 3. It's coming to Switch. It will support the 4-player co-op play, including locally. So you can have 4 Switches in a room and play together.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's actually kind of cool. I probably still won't buy this. Just like I know Drew is not going to buy a Switch just for Diablo, but that is an old enough game at this point. It is not worth $60 anymore. I mean, I guess it's arguably what it's worth, but I'm not going to spend $60 on a game I already own twice.
I'm not going to spend $60 on a game that I was already gifted twice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Even if I didn't pay for any of them, I'm not buying a game that's 6 years old at $60 just when I already have it. If I had never bought Diablo anywhere else or couldn't play it anywhere else, then yeah, maybe I'd pick it up on Switch just to be able to play it. But if I want to play it on the console, I'll play it on PS4.
Yeah.
Like, I don't take my Switch with me too many places anyway. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm opposite of you. I don't like the game, so I'm not gonna buy it. If I were a fan of the game, I would consider getting it, because a lot of the games that I'm getting for the Switch, I want them because of the ability to bring it anywhere. Crash Bandicoot Trilogy that I had, that was originally on my Amazon wishlist as a PS Plus game, or as a PlayStation game, I took it off and put it as a Switch game, and that's why I have it for Switch. So, like, I want to be able to take that with me. I'm more likely to bring my Switch down the shore than I am to bring my PS4 down the shore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or on vacation or whatever. Or just to my parents' house.
Maybe we should stop going places.
I mean, I should, but I wasn't home all weekend. It's been a long weekend.
It has been a long weekend, I agree.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday also. So
well, I just meant this weekend that just passed.
No, I know what you mean. Spyro, the Reignited trilogy,
yeah,
has been delayed.
I forgot it was a thing until this news came out.
So it was supposed to come out next month.
Wow, really?
It was scheduled. It was supposed to come out like the 21st or 22nd of September.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's now pushed back to November 13th.
Okay.
It is speculated because they haven't said why. The rumor though is it was announced that only Spyro 1 was going to be on the disc. 2 and 3 were going to be download only.
Okay.
People don't like that.
No.
Understandably. Like, if you're buying a physical disc, why do you have to download 2/3 of the content?
Yeah. Especially for a game like that. Like,
yeah.
It all should be on the disc.
How fucking big could it be?
Yeah, exactly.
All of it was a single disc on PlayStation era, so
to be fair, they are, it's like crack.
Yeah.
It's a full remaster.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it is going to take up more space.
Sure.
But the Blu-ray, like a Blu-ray disc with full compression can hold up to like 100 gigs now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 300, maybe it's 300 gigs.
I don't think
it's something ridiculous. I was actually just looking it up the other day.
They fit all of the Crash Bandicoot games onto a disc. They can fit all of the Spyro games onto
Exactly.
a disc. That's all we need to say about that.
So the speculation is that they're delaying it so that they can actually put the games on the disc.
Yeah.
And have enough time to actually print the discs and everything.
Yeah.
Which,
that seems like
stupid.
Yeah.
Kind of like unrelated tangent. I did go down like a rabbit hole of Blu-ray discs, Wikipedia and stuff like that. As well as HD DVD.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, do you by chance watch the mailbags from Giant Bomb?
Usually. I haven't watched the most recent one.
So it was either the most recent one or the one before that. They got a bunch of a bunch of HD DVDs.
Yeah.
Like a whole fucking box full of HD DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
You keep trying to say ultraviolet DVDs.
Yeah. Well, I keep wanting to say Ultra HD because that's like the new thing.
Yeah.
And the person also sent them the 360 HD DVD player.
Okay.
To which they went over and put it on a pile that they had already gotten an HD DVD player and a stack of HD DVDs. But it made me remember that whole era of nobody wanting HD DVD, nobody buying that $150 DVD player.
Sounds right.
Add-on.
Yeah.
Like, Vogel bought it.
Yeah, of course he did.
Hold on.
Well,
Vogel bought it and left it at my house, and Eric owns it now.
It gets better than that. He bought it because it was clearance at GameStop.
Yeah.
This was while he worked at Movie Stop.
Yeah.
At the Turnersville one.
Yeah.
So his thinking was he was buying that pretty cheap, and then he was going to go to work and buy a bunch of the HD DVDs cheap because the last time he had worked, they were also on clearance.
Yeah.
He got to work, all of the HD DVDs had been sent to another store.
Huh.
So I don't think he ever had HD DVDs for it.
Eric bought Heroes Season 1
I remember that.
on HD because it wasn't coming out on Blu-ray because it was Universal and they were doing HD DVD.
Right. I forgot about that.
So he might still have Heroes Season 1 on HD DVD with the Xbox 360 HD DVD connector.
It's funny though, like kind of falling down that rabbit hole of like looking at the two formats. Like Blu-ray is like, regardless of which one won, Blu-ray was the better format.
Yeah.
Because, like, when VHS and Betamax happened, like, Betamax was actually the better format. It was just the more expensive format.
Yeah.
Which is why it failed, because people didn't want to spend the money it cost for the player and the tapes and all.
Yeah.
Like, HD DVD was actually, like, the discs had way less storage on them, because they were just like a normal DVD.
Yeah.
Essentially. Like, they had a higher capacity, but I found out, and I mean, you guys might already know this, Blu-rays actually use, like, a blue laser.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know why they did that. I thought it was just the technology. It actually lets it read data better, so they can compress more data onto a disc that, like, a normal, like, red laser wouldn't be able to differentiate between the parts of the data, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because blue is a smaller wavelength,
Yeah.
I believe, so it can read narrower space in data.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Like, I knew that it used a blue laser because that's the Blu-ray. Like, that's the name of the format.
Yep.
But I didn't realize it was actually, like, it did. I honestly thought that the disc itself was just a different thing. Kind of like PlayStation discs were different when they had, like, the black bottoms.
I don't know that those were different.
They didn't play in normal players at all. Like,
I think that was just the well,
I thought they had, like, a different capacity on them or something.
no, I think that was just, well, one, they did. You could put it into a CD player, and depending how the music tracks were formatted, like, it would play.
I thought that only worked if it was a silver-bottomed game, though.
There
Or a
are no
blue-bottomed
silver
game
bottom
or something.
games.
Aren't there?
I guess the greatest hits ones are.
Yeah, because I have some that aren't black bottomed.
Yeah,
And they're probably all greatest hits. Though.
Yeah, the greatest hits versions are. You're right, but it all had to do with how the individual games formatted the music tracks in the game.
Okay.
Because, like, you could put whichever Twisted Metal it was that had, like, all Rob Zombie songs for the soundtrack. You can put that in a CD player and play the soundtrack.
I didn't know that. I knew you used to be able to do that with Dreamcast games, but I didn't realize you could actually do that with PlayStation games. I also never owned, like, a Twisted Metal game to have ever even tried it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that I just thought that was interesting that, like, that the reason it's blue is because it actually lets it read, like, data differently. What else is there? So that Halo Infinite thing that was shown off at E3,
Right.
that is officially 100% Halo 6.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not a spin-off, it's not a prequel, it is the next Halo game.
Yeah.
Which, like, I mean, it's probably still early, but, like, the video they showed, like, it just didn't look good. Like, like, Halo 5 actually looked really good. Like, that video, that little trailer, like, I don't know, like, the textures and stuff just didn't look great.
It looked fine to me. It's also been a few months, and I haven't watched it since then, so I don't really remember, but it wasn't a big bother to me when I was watching it. I thought it looked fine.
I mean, look, it did not look like a last-gen game, but it did not look like the game that should be coming after Halo 5. Like, I don't, and again, it's probably early enough that they have a whole bunch of work to do and they just needed to show something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, just the textures and stuff just looked kind of dated and light on detail. Especially compared to, like, a lot of those other not that there was a lot of first-party games, but all the other first-party stuff they showed looked really good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It is what it is. Vampire, the Don't Nod game that came out in June, where you're a vampire doctor in the 1800s. Uh-huh. It's going to get a TV series, apparently.
Okay.
Or at least the rights have been purchased to make it a TV series.
What hasn't been purchased to make a TV series?
So not a lot of games don't seem to go the TV series route. They normally seem to go the movie route and then either get made and are total garbage or languish in development hell for decades.
Yeah.
But from what I know of that game, it actually probably suits itself very well to a TV series. Because you are some sort of doctor in England-ish, London, in like the 1800s. Mm-hmm. And you're also a vampire. So the whole idea is you don't really... It's that normal... You're fighting your bloodlust, but you need to feed occasionally to not die or become a monster.
Yeah.
But you're also trying to help and save people. I think during like one of the plagues. Maybe not like a plague, but maybe like a yellow fever outbreak or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people are just dying.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's interesting. It was Fox 21 has been granted the rights. Is that the part of Fox that is still owned by Fox?
Probably, maybe.
No. I think that everything Fox.
Well, yeah, everything Fox minus sports and news.
I thought they kept their broadcast network too.
Well, yes. They kept their broadcast network, Fox News, Fox Business.
So, I mean, if this is a broadcast show, like if they purchased it for their broadcast network?
Which, I mean, if I remember correctly, back before cable, at least in Philly area, 21 was Fox.
No, 29.
Was it 20? Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But Fox is 21st Century Fox.
Yeah.
So, it used to be 20th Century Fox.
It could be.
I mean, in fairness, right now, Fox still owns Fox.
Yeah, no, I do know that. I just wasn't sure if that was what Fox was calling itself for, like, the little bit of its self that it was still owned, or if this project would potentially go to Disney and then get axed because Disney won't want to make it.
That's probably what will happen.
That's kind of a bummer. The last thing I have, the girl that took over for Tony Stark in the comics.
Riri Williams,
yeah.
right?
She's going to get her own solo series.
Okay.
Which after Bendis left the Marvel books, the 3 big characters that, like, he created that had big runs in books were Jessica Jones, Miles Morales, and Riri Williams.
Yeah.
All 3 of the books that they had ongoing at that time ended.
Okay.
So, like, Iron Man ended with Tony Stark coming back and, like, a new series launching. Spider-Man ended with Miles Morales in, like, a hospital. And Jessica Jones just kind of ended with the story finishing up and her going back to being a mom or some shit. They have since... There is a, like, digital first Jessica Jones book that's running now.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there's a Spider-Man book that's going to be starting up again soon. But they hadn't announced anything for Riri. And her and Miles were both in, like, a team book also.
Okay.
But she was actually a really interesting character just because she had the smart stuff going on that Tony has.
Right.
But not so much, like, the ego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, she was all about, like she was very much like that, like, kind of one-sided, like, has to get, like, something done person. But, like, I don't know, her character was really interesting. And her interactions with people were always cool, too, because she was essentially the Iron Man at the time because Tony was missing. She just went by a different name.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see what a solo series for her looks like, not being part of that Iron Man story that involved, like, everyone. When they introduced her in, like, the Iron Man books, like, Tony was still, like, 100% around, and he was just kind of, like, mentoring her.
Right.
And then she became, like, the prominent character in the one Iron Man book that was running at the time, while Doctor Doom took over the other one. And that whole run with her as, like, the focal point was very much she is Iron Man. Like, she is interacting with Iron Man's supporting cast. They're looking for Tony Stark. Like, so, like, this is, like, them kind of getting to build her sort of supporting cast and rogues gallery and everything.
Yeah. That'd be cool to see them, like, make a brand new character. So, like, nowadays, pretty much, and own villains or own... That'll be cool to see.
Yeah, it's weird. So, Marvel's does fairly well with creating new characters.
Yeah.
Like, especially lately, like, they've had a lot of, like, new wave teenage heroes coming on. Like, that was the thing back in the 60s. Like, you had the X-Men, Spider-Man, like, Johnny Storm with the Fantastic Four, even though, like, the rest of them were all adults. But then you had, like, that long jump where, like, everyone was just kind of, like, a 20-something or older.
Yeah.
And now you have Miles Morales, you have Riri Williams, you have Miss Marvel, who's, I think she's supposed to be probably, like, 16 or something like that. She's in high school.
Yeah.
One of the Novas is a teenager. The not Hulk anymore Hulk guy is a teenager.
Yeah.
So, like, they've done a good job of sort of making those legacy characters younger versions of, like, their older counterparts, but still making them a different character. Like, Miles is not Peter Parker. He does not share any of the same, like, characteristics as Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But he has, like, a similar power set. So his villains tend to be villains that you're familiar with from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, he went up against Black Cat and, like, shit like that.
Yeah.
And, like, occasionally they'll throw in, like, somebody new, but, like, they haven't done a good job. Not that they haven't done a good job. They just haven't had much luck with building, like, interesting rogues for these new heroes to go against.
Yeah.
A lot of it is either just really obscure characters that have been around for a long time that just aren't being used elsewhere, or one-offs that kind of just don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, when you have so many villains that you have to go off of, I guess it makes sense.
It does, but like new villains are always cool. Like if there's new heroes, there's got to be new villains. Like if these kids are getting powers, there are other people also getting powers.
Yeah, but just think of how many villains they have, and like how hard do you think it is to not try to make the same villain twice, even though they've made the same hero multiple times with every hero. So it's...
I mean, they've done that with a lot of villains too. Like they've done the hero thing with villains in some cases, where you'll have like Electro, like Max Dillon, like the Electro that like you'd be familiar with from like the cartoons and everything.
Yeah,
he is not Electro anymore. It's a girl.
Yeah,
same powers, basically wears the same suit, but it's not him.
Yeah,
and like that, there's a lot of those out there. But yeah, that was all the news.
Oh, you forgot about Pokemon Go. Celebi is now active. So they had a quest list.
I didn't forget about Pokemon Go. I just didn't care.
I just want to fuck with you. I just wanted to fuck with you a bit. But in all honesty, they had a set of tests that you do for Mew to unlock Mew. And it's like there's 8 quests, quotes, and each quest has 3 tests to do in each. On Monday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, they launched a Ripple in Time quest, which you can do with both Mew. As long as you get to level 3 with Mew, you can do them both at the same time. So once you get to quest level 3, it unlocks quest level 1 for a Ripple in Time. And you can do that. So people are now trying to figure out what all 8 quests are, all 8 objectives. Some people found ways to break things, and I didn't know that they could do that.
Wait, so can you not get Mew anymore, or can you
No,
still
you
do
can
those
still
quests?
get Mew. You can do them both simultaneously now.
So you just need to find the quest to do them to get them?
You get the quest. He just gives it to you. So, like, once you open up the game, say, since you two haven't played since they had it, say one of you were to download the game and open it up, you would be given the Mew quest. Like, Professor Willow would just talk to you. And he'd be like, I'm trying to find this legendary Pokemon. And you'll have, I can't remember the name of the Mew quest, 1 of 8. Once you get to 3 of 8, and maybe complete it, so maybe 4 of 8, he'll be like, oh, I'm looking for this other legendary Pokemon.
Is this like that field research stuff?
Yeah, but there's 2 different kinds of field research. There's the special, and then the...
Is this the one that has like the little stamp marks where like it's like dotted lines? And
That's the dailies. There's also the main field research, the special research.
The one where it's like 3 things that you like do the 3 things and you get like a reward?
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so they added... I just think it's ridiculous. People have found a way to break the game already with, one of the tasks at, I think it's, step 2, which I haven't even gotten to yet, is catch a Pokemon every day for 3 days. Just catch 1 Pokemon every day for 3 days. People found a way to break it and have already unlocked step 4, or step 3, and it's only been out since yesterday. By switching time zones or something, and making the game think you're in a new day? I don't know. It makes no sense to me. But, like, people are all the way up to, like, number 5 at this point, I think. As the furthest I saw was, like, somebody's at, task 5.
Okay.
And I'm keeping an eye on it, because one of the tests for Mew was to evolve a Magikarp into a Gyarados, which you needed 400 candies to do that. There's 2 Pokemon that you need 400 candies for, 2 new Pokemon, Swablu and Wailmer to Wailord. Swablu to whatever its thing is.
Yeah.
And then there's also Phoebus, which you need to walk 10 kilometers and get 100 candy to evolve that into Melodic. So I'm just keeping an eye out on what I need to keep so that I can evolve whatever the hell else I want to evolve. But it's cool that they added that, and they're doing like some sort of special event with a bunch of new shinies and stuff too. But I more so wanted to just talk about they finally added Celebi after, I think it's been, I thought Mew was out for about a year, but Mew's been only out for like 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to keep them spaced apart.
Well, yeah, no, it's just, I thought Mew was out longer, is all I'm saying. Like, I thought it's been like a year since Mew was out, but people have been saying Mew's only been out this year.
So then probably sometime early next year they'll release Jirachi. That's the next, like, weird special one.
Yeah, maybe. Probably.
I mean, they seem to be releasing all, like, the big set ones through, like, raids. Like, they had, like, the dogs, and they have, like, the Reggies.
Yeah, they're doing the Reggies through the raids, but then it's, like, the Mew, the Celebi, whatever that it would be, I guess Jirachi would be through the special tasks.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like,
yeah. So I'm thinking, because Victini was Gen 4.
No, it wasn't.
Or was that Gen 5?
It's 5 or 6.
I think it was 5. That was black and white was Victini.
Yeah, so that would have been, so
I think that would be when they get all the way up to...
That's Gen 5, because
yeah.
Gen 1 is red and blue, Gen 2 is gold and silver, Gen 3 is ruby sapphire, Gen 4 is diamond pearl, Gen 5 is black and white.
So, like, I don't know a lot of the newer Pokemon that are out right now, because it's been so long, and I think I missed one or two of the games when I was younger. Didn't really play a lot of them.
It seemed like a lot of people skipped, not even skipped, but like Gen 3 is the one that like people have the least fondness for.
Yeah.
Because like Gen 1 and 2, like Gen 1 got it started. A lot of people still play Generation 3. And then it seems like that whole, Game Boy Advance era kind of got skipped over.
Yeah.
And then everyone started playing Diamond and Pearl again.
Yeah.
I never played Ruby Sapphire, and I didn't play Gold Silver until the DS re-release.
Oh, wow.
Like, I think it was Gen 3 and 4 I didn't play much. Like, I had them, I may have played a little bit of Gen 3. I don't think I ever owned Gen 4. And then I jumped right into Gen 5. Like, I do want to go through and play, like, all the Pokemon games again, but that's sometime down the line when I actually have the money to do it.
Makes sense. And yeah, Victini was Generation 5, black and white. So
I don't know who they would, because they're already at Gen 3 Pokemon with Wailmer, Swablu, and I think even Phoebus. But then they still didn't release all of Gen 2, which is weird. So
I thought they just haven't released the legendaries yet, I think.
No, I mean, they've done the dogs, they've done Ho-Oh, they've done Lugia. Like, all the legendaries are...
So there's still Celebi, which is just out.
Which is what they're just doing, and I don't know if they've released all of Gen 2.
So there were only 100 extra Pokemon in Gen 2, if I remember correctly. It went from 150 to 250.
Okay. Let me see what because I have a bunch of Gen 3, so let's just see what my Pokedex says for the numbers.
So, Gen 4 might be Cresselia? So, like, you know how, like, Mew and Celebi and, like, even Victini have that sort of similar character model? Like, they're, like, the small, cute Pokemon. Jirachi is, too.
Uh-huh.
Generation 4 had the Lake Guardians, which looked like that, but there were 3 of them. Like, that was, like, one of the trios that generation.
Okay.
So, Cresselia was the other one that, like, was kind of, like, its standalone one. So I'm thinking maybe that might be the one that they release sort of through these research thingies.
Yeah. Okay. So, no, they did release all of Gen 2.
There just aren't as many Gen 2 as, like, you think.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot more. It's, there's a bunch that I'm missing. There's 234, 235, 240, and, the rest of them I know what they are, but I don't have them. 244, 45, 47, 50, and 51 is obviously Celebi. 50 is Ho-Oh. 44 and 45 is Suicune and...
Oh, have they released Latios and Latias? Because those were technically legendaries. So they might be 2 that haven't actually come about yet.
I mean, it's at 251. It labels up to 251.
No, but I just meant like they might not have actually been released yet. Like, because they're
Gen 3.
Latios and Latias?
Yep.
Which one? What are those? I don't remember.
They look like dolphins. Like one's red and one's red and white, one's blue and white. I thought they were Gen 2, so that's my fault.
No, they're 3.
They were part of a movie. I think they were movie 4. No, 5. Yeah, because 4 I believe was Celebi, so 5.
I don't know. They might have, but if he's they've released Kyogre and Groudon.
Okay, but not Rayquaza.
Rayquaza, no, not yet. I don't think so. I don't think they've done Rayquaza yet.
And Latias and Latios are considered the Eon duo.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk about Celebi real quick because I thought it was ridiculous that people not already, but that people found such a way to cheat the days on your cell phone. I thought that was a little nuts. That it's like, oh yeah, and the one dude that told me is like, it works on some phones, not on others, but like, you can just change or do something about time zones and make your phone think you're in a different day. Like, why are you in such a rush? Could have just waited those 3 days and then seen what was coming.
Listen,
next.
You can't wait for these things.
You can. Like, I just want to know what the steps are. I don't care about getting the rewards super fast. I just want to hear what the steps are super fast.
So this way you know kind of what you need to
so I can prepare. So I know if I need to save my Swablu who's almost ready to evolve, or if I should start trying to walk my Whelmer for 400 for probably 1,200 kilometers, because God knows it's going to take me forever to get that, because I've only seen like 3 Whelmers in my life.
They're always over by our place.
What, Whelmer?
Yeah.
I've seen one at I think I've gotten 3 total. Like, and 2 of them were in raids.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them pop up on Erica's phone when she's playing when we're walking the dog.
Because
there's, like, you know the park down the street from our house?
Yeah.
The gazebo and then the baseball field are a gym and a stop.
Yeah.
And there's always stuff around them.
Oh, last night I opened it up and a Stantler was nearby. I ran out to go try to find it and I lost it. It wasn't at a stop. It was just in grass. It was in high grass somewhere and I just couldn't find it. I thought it was going to be over there because that's usually where things are. But
anyway, Drew, did you have any news that I missed?
No.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break then, and we'll come back and go over stuff that we've done.
Sure.
All right. Cool. And we're back.
Here we are.
So, what have you guys been up to?
Stuff and things. Things and stuff.
I went to Cleveland intentionally.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Don't you remember Drew Carey? Cleveland rocks.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Didn't you ever see the Cleveland tourism video?
Oh yeah, a bunch of my friends, we reference that all the time. Cleveland sucks. Cleveland's the worst.
So, Sarah won the Hamilton lottery for the Cleveland show on Sunday, and so we decided to pack a bag and go to Cleveland. So how it works is you enter a drawing, you are told the next day whether or not you won. The show is the day after that. So if you were to enter today, you have up until 9 a.m. the day the lottery ends to enter. You would be told on Wednesday that you won a ticket for the show on Thursday. So she entered Friday, was told Saturday that she won tickets for the show on Sunday. You get to buy 2 tickets, or up to 2 tickets. You could buy just one if you want, for $10 a piece. Turned out we were in the very front row.
So I saw you guys post that stuff on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
So your ticket said row F.
Correct.
Do you happen to know, and you might not, was this one of those things where the stage for Hamilton was further out, so row F happened to be the first row for this, and...
No, because unless they can put seating over the orchestra pit,
which I think some places can if there's no orchestra.
Which I guess maybe that's possible for some shows, but I don't know how many musicals would not have live music being played for them.
I mean, that's fair.
So
I mean, I'm sure there are productions that don't have that though.
Yeah,
that's the only time I was curious, because F seems like a weird place to start, especially if G is the next one.
Yeah, G was goes in alphabetical order. It's possible that at some point there were rows A through E, and when remodeling this theater, it's not that way anymore. They just got rid of those rows. Because, the orchestra is in a pit below you. You look down to see them.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we were, stage orchestra pit us.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you had to go to Cleveland for it.
Yeah. So, 14 hours on the road over 2 days.
With all sorts of adventures in the middle.
Yeah. We thought our car died 5 hours into the trip, or 4 or 5 hours into the trip. So, in Pennsylvania, sections of Pennsylvania, we interacted with, 7 people while we were out in that section of Pennsylvania. 4 of them were chewing tobacco.
Nice.
Not surprised.
You could tell they chewed tobacco. So, yeah, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it turned out to be a simple fix. We still are going to, get it fixed better, because all we had them do was re-glue this piece of rubber that ripped in half and got sucked into the throttle air intake on the engine, halfway. So we want to get a not ripped part, so it hopefully the glue doesn't dry up and break again.
Yeah.
But, so there was a nice 17-hour panic attack in the middle of that trip. and like 180 wasted dollars between getting the car fixed and losing out the one hotel reservation.
So were you able to at least refund that?
Nope.
Or, oh, that sucks.
No refunds through Priceline.
That sucks.
Yeah. If we could have refunded it, then it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, even if like it was a wait for it to get it back, but...
I mean, even that, still cheaper than buying a ticket to Hamilton.
This is true, even after everything.
Yeah, the entire
gas and food. And...
the entire trip for 2 people was cheaper than 1 ticket to Hamilton.
Yeah, probably. Especially where we were sitting.
Yeah, like if you could find a front row ticket to Hamilton in Philly or New York, it would probably be close to $1,000, if not over.
Yeah.
Because like Erica didn't believe that the tickets were that expensive. So when she saw that you guys were going, I was telling you this in the car.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, wouldn't it have been cheaper just to like buy a ticket in New York? I'm like, no, like they're like the bad seats are $500. She's like, no, they're not. And I looked it up. I'm like, no, seriously, like the bad seat is almost $600.
Well, and also the thing about it, like you can't just buy the tickets in New York. Like they're sold out.
Yeah, you have to get them off of like StubHub or something.
And then you're paying inflated prices on top of what already the face value are. Like, and the face value are like $500.
Yeah.
Like, so. Yeah, like Sarah looked at the prices for the one in DC and found 2 tickets for $1,140.
Jeez. Like each?
No, that was the total.
Okay.
After the fees and everything. There were it was $500 a ticket plus $70 in fees for each one.
Like that's just insane.
Yep.
Like,
and those weren't front row either.
Yeah.
So
was it worth it?
Oh, it was absolutely worth it. It was amazing. Like, you know, I've listened to that soundtrack all the way through multiple times, so I already knew all the songs. But to see it live, there are certain times where characters will put an inflection on their face or just their body language that gave a little different meaning to some of the songs. And just also seeing them act the things out while they're singing is impressive. And
because I mean you're also getting like the dialogue between songs too,
there is
right?
no dialogue in Hamilton.
Really?
It is all songs.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
There is one song that is not in the soundtrack that they performed.
Okay.
But there originally was going to be dialogue in Hamilton, but as Lin-Manuel Miranda was working on it, he just realized the songs were just better and just set everything to music.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it was like any other musical where, you know, people will talk and then like the talking will turn into a song and the song will tell the story for a little while and then they'll scene change and talk a little bit more.
It seems like they're doing that a lot more recently with like musicals. Like, The Greatest Showman, 98% of that was song. And then there was a very like few parts that had like dialogue in it. And it was pretty much just scene transition that had little to no meaning because it was like 2 lines at that and then they went to the song.
That is like, 2 lines more than in
Yeah,
Hamilton.
and I'm just saying like
everything in Hamilton is set to music. Like, there's a couple spots where it's like Hamilton reading Washington's farewell letter. Like, he actually has the exact farewell letter that Hamilton writes for Washington in the play. Like, that's spoken more than sung, but it is set to music.
Okay.
And is still, like, it's like sing-talky, but it's not.
It's called rap?
I mean, that's the show, but...
Oh, is it all like rap?
But more or less.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I've never heard a single song from Hamilton.
It is
so.
like more rap hip-hop influenced than like your standard musical.
Okay. I knew those songs were in it, but I've never listened to any of it to know that that is the majority of it.
I mean, most of the cast is black, or actually don't even know if there are any like white people other than King George in the main cast.
Oh wow! Now this isn't the same cast that plays on Broadway, right?
No,
that you saw.
So currently there are like 5 separate productions of Hamilton going on. There's one in New York, one in DC, one in Chicago, one in London, and then one that is touring.
Okay.
And the touring one will come to Philly soon.
Yeah.
I think the one... I don't know if the one coming to Philly is the touring group or another, like, semi-permanent one.
I think I was told it's like the touring one.
It might be. I don't know. But yeah, so this was the touring cast. So actually, like, the person playing Aaron Burr was the understudy for the original Aaron Burr on Broadway.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So, and I don't know if there was anyone else that was tied to the original production, but that cast has been together touring the US for almost a year now. But yeah, that took up most of my time, was that whirlwind weekend.
Yeah, because I mean, like, how long was it between her winning and you guys getting on the road?
2 hours.
Like, was there any discussion, or did she win and you guys were just already getting ready to leave?
There was discussion, but not a whole lot. Cause
I feel like if you would have said no, she would have just gone without you.
No, I don't think she would have made that drive alone.
I mean, not like gone alone, but just gone without you.
Fair.
She would have found somebody to go.
Like she would. I'm sure she has a friend that she could have been like, I have a $10 Hamilton ticket. Do you want to come take a ride to Cleveland with me?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the discussion was very short because it was like, yes, it's also coming to Philly. It's super expensive. Like right now, as far as I know, the only way to guarantee a ticket is to buy the like season pass for
the
Kimmel Center.
The Kimmel Center.
Yeah, I have coworkers who
and that lets you buy a ticket to Hamilton. So you have to pay for that and then buy the Hamilton tickets.
Yeah, at face value, which is still hundreds of dollars for a ticket.
And like, there's no guarantee we would hit, especially if it is only a touring thing. Like the one in Cleveland was there a month. There's no guarantee in that month. I guess it was there a month and 2 weeks. Like it got there middle of July. And this upcoming Sunday is the last day there in Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
Like, there would be no guarantee we would ever win the lottery for Philadelphia. There's no guarantee we'll ever win it for New York or D.C. So it was...
Is she going to keep doing it to see if she wins
I think
again?
we're going to take a little break from it, but, like, there's no guarantee we would ever win those other lotteries. So to have won it, and it, like, it's not obscenely far. It sucked that we had to make the drive home and then go to work on Monday.
Yeah, it's a shame you didn't have like a little bit more notice where you could have like put in like
even
if it was just a week and you could have been like, hey, this is really short notice, but like most bosses, if you like explain that to them, they're going to be like, okay, like use a PTO day.
My boss would have let me take off, but her work would not. So since she went to work, I was like, all right, I'll go to work too. I'm not.
You should have just been like, all right, sweetie, have a nice day at work. I'll see you when you get home.
I could have. I felt better yesterday than I do today. And yesterday I was up from 8 a.m. Sunday to 6 a.m. on Monday.
That's rough.
Slept for 2 hours and then went to work.
I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah. So.
Did you guys get to, like, did she pick, like, Cleveland as one of the places you're willing to go, or are you just in the lottery?
They do separate lotteries for every show.
Okay,
that's going on.
So it's not like you could have won it for the London show and just been like, well, fuck, we're not going to this.
Right, yeah.
Well, I guess you could have. I mean, that was enough time to get a plane ticket to London, and assuming you guys both have passports.
Yeah, it's not enough time to get a passport.
Yeah.
You need minimum 2 weeks to get a passport.
Longer
and that's
than that.
Expedited.
I think it's longer than that, even expedited.
I think, because it's
like 3 months not expedited.
Yeah,
I feel like 2 weeks is too short.
I think it's 2 weeks expedited, but it's expensive.
And I don't think it's guaranteed either.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah, no, you enter for the specific city.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that would have sucked. Like, you went for, like, Chicago or London where, like, there isn't really a reasonable path to just drive that one.
No.
Then, like, yeah, I mean, like, you could totally fly to Chicago. It's not that expensive of a flight. But still cheaper than tickets to New York.
It is. The flights are expensive when you only have 1 day's notice.
Unless you get lucky. Like, if it's like a last-minute flight, sometimes they're cheaper because they're just trying to sell out seats.
Well, so, like, I looked, as we were discussing whether or not to go, I was looking at flights to Cleveland. The cheapest I saw round trip to do Saturday, fly out Saturday, and then fly home Sunday, and then I wasn't even looking at times, because the cheapest I saw was like $425 for 2 tickets.
Still cheaper than a Hamilton ticket.
That's Fair, but
Just
not
saying.
cheap enough to have made it worth it.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, it would...
Because
like,
you would have... you could have found a hostel in Cleveland and stayed there overnight. I'm sure they have somewhere, but it's Cleveland, so do you really want to risk it going to a hostel as well?
Well, I mean, at that point, too, you would just take the... Like, if you're going to fly where, like, you have that sort of time, you fly in that morning.
Yeah, we would have flown in on Sunday.
And then fly out that night, and then you don't have to stay anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, did you check, like, the really shitty airlines, like Spirit or Frontier?
I didn't check Frontier. Spirit, I don't think flies to Cleveland.
Okay. Because, like...
Or if they did, that was the one that was $425.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you probably could have found a really cheap flight on one of them if you were willing to, like, take, like maybe like a red-eye flight there, and like you would have already basically been a red-eye flight back anyway.
Yeah.
So like, but like at the same time, like who wants to fly at like 3 a.m. and then literally just be stuck in a city with nothing for like not? I mean, there's stuff to do in Cleveland, like that's where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like, you don't necessarily want to be stuck there with like nothing for 10 hours while you're waiting for the play to start.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Like, I mean. I know Sarah loves that whole thing, so I'm sure that was super exciting for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Spirit does go to Cleveland.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have any more flights
when
I looked.
Spirit is so small that it's not very likely they had any flights.
But like
looking at it right now, Spirit Airlines to get a trip out today or tomorrow, the 22nd, $695 for one ticket.
Oh wow, yeah, that's more than I expected Spirit to be.
Or at least I clicked Spirit. It might have just showed me a bunch of airlines. But
whatever, like, the main one that flies out of Philly was, like, almost $900 for 2 tickets.
Yeah, flights are weird. Like, if you book them way in advance, they're cheaper, or super late, they seem to be cheapest. But, like, if it's just, like, a few days ahead of time, you're paying out the ass for it.
Yeah.
It's like Amtrak. Amtrak's the same way. Like, alright, day of, your train's not sold out. Like, why is my ticket $200 more expensive than it was 2 weeks ago? Like, like I get it. Like, up the price as you get closer, but day of, if you want somebody to take that train, drop it back down to $53.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was a crazy whirlwind weekend that for a little while looked like we were going to be stuck in Irwin, Pennsylvania. I think is where we were. Yeah, neither did I until we had to get towed off the PA Turnpike into that town.
It's a shame if you had a Switch. You could have been playing the Switch the whole ride there.
Could have been playing Diablo 3 the whole way there.
It's not out yet.
I know.
Next time, though, you could have been playing Diablo 3.
I could have used the Steam Link app on my phone to boot up my PC, exit big picture mode, load Diablo 3 on my phone from my...
That sounds like a bad time.
Yeah,
Look,
probably would have been.
If you were to go to Cleveland right now, you could take a train to Washington, D.C., and then a train to Cleveland for 13 hours and 38 minutes.
That is longer than it took to drive.
I know.
That's as long as it took to drive there and back, almost. And it would have been like $400, that train.
Google's not giving me a price.
Yeah, it's probably like $400. The train is retardedly expensive.
Philadelphia to Cleveland train, $70 cheap tickets from PA to Ohio.
Yeah, to Ohio.
So like it is if you book last minute, Philly to New York is almost $200 round trip. Like it's an hour and 40-minute train ride usually. If you book now for like 2 weeks from now, it's like a regular Northeast extension train is like $53 plus like the fees and all.
Okay.
So like little over $100 round trip. But if you were to book like today for tomorrow or Thursday, like it's probably like $110 each way. Acella's even more. Acela starts at like 110 like 3 weeks out, and then by the time of it, it's closer to 200 each way. Those trains are nice though.
Greyhound leaving at 11:10 a.m. and this is round trip, $71.
Thought about it.
10 hours, but you could have slept the entire way.
I mean, you could have anyway.
And the Greyhound, you could have gotten the Greyhound from Mount Laurel probably.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys work not too far from there, so I'm sure you could have found a way to get cleaned up before having to go into work. Or just say, screw it, you're going to work smelly because you just saw Hamilton.
I feel like taking your own car at that point.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I don't know how late Greyhounds leave?
Usually they leave throughout the night.
Yeah, you can normally get like late trains.
Like that one was 11:10 at night.
Okay.
The one that was leaving like tonight, 11:10 at night.
And a lot of them are like not direct, but there's not a whole lot of stops.
That one was one stop, and I believe that was from Philly. So you probably stopping in Pittsburgh and transferring in Pittsburgh.
I don't know if I'd ever want to take a long distance trip by bus. Like that.
Yeah, we took a chartered bus to Rochester for a Wings game. Like the last year the Wings were around, one of the season ticket benefits was a free trip to a game in Rochester.
Like a trip to a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we got bussed up, went to the game, and then bussed home.
Okay, that's still kind of cool.
Yeah, and the tickets were like it was all paid for as part of the season tickets. So
I mean, I went to,
but that was
Baltimore.
a long fucking ride.
I went to Baltimore, and there was a guy who was going down with his wife and their 2 kids to Florida. They're moving to Florida, and they were taking the bus. He said it was a 2-day trip.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, they went for the cheapest trips, and so multiple transfers and stuff like that. And
I mean, just driving straight through, depending on where you're driving into Florida, it's like a 16-hour trip.
18 hours to Orlando.
Yeah, which Orlando's middle of the state.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a long drive.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I guess you didn't really do much else?
No. Didn't really play anything. I was planning to buy Dead Cells this past weekend.
Yeah, you had mentioned that last week.
But instead, we went to Cleveland.
If you had a Switch, you could have played Dead Cells on the Switch.
That's fair.
How about you, Rich? What have you been up to?
I played a little bit of Monster Hunter because they released Arch-Tempered Teostra, and I've been meaning to play a little bit more since last Friday because they updated with new weapons for Kuv Teroth, but I haven't really gotten into it. I had a busy weekend this weekend.
Lots of hookers and blow?
No, I was originally supposed to go down the shore, but the people whose shore house it's his grandmother's. His uncle got into a very bad accident.
Sucks.
Was in the ICU, so they had to cancel because they're the closest ones that live near these people, or near him and his family who got injured. So they had to cancel the trip. So instead, I ended up like going to my friend's house each night, played some board games, or one of the nights or both nights, we ended up playing a new card game called What Do You Meme? It's essentially Cards Against Humanity, but it's with memes. So you get a little like stand to put the meme on, and it's memes. I believe the game was made last year, so it is very recent memes. There was 1 or 2 Joe Biden memes, a few Obama memes. There was even a Putin meme in there somewhere. Like very, very recent memes. And so one person judges, and everybody puts down a card. The first 2 times I played, there was just 3 of us, so we were doing 2 cards each just to give a little bit more to judge. And then the second time there was 4 of us, so it was just 1 card each. But it's a fun game. I generally win when I play it because I'm really good with memes. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You guys might like that game.
What was it called again? I'm sorry.
What Do You Meme?
What do
M-E-M-E meme. What do you meme? But yeah, so I played that, and then Collingswood had this. They had like this craft festival market going on Haddon Ave on Saturday and Sunday, and on Saturday night they had an after market thing going on where they had like live music and they had street performers. So they had a tightropist and a fire eater and juggler, and like you could bring the kids and they'll help the kid walk across the tightrope and teach them how to spin plates and stuff like that as well.
That's kind of cool.
Just a neat little thing that apparently they do every year. So I did, I was just outside all day. On Saturday I played like 2 raids of Pokemon Go. Got Regirock, so I was happy. Don't have to do it again, because apparently the Reggies suck and nobody likes doing them. He was the only Reggie I've been able to fight since the Reggies have been out.
I think Erica got Reggie.
I haven't been able to find a group to fight Reggies.
She's gone to Red Bank the last 2 Sundays.
Yeah.
And I think it was
probably 2 Sundays ago when it was EV Day. When she was there with Sarah.
Yeah, I think she got the Reggie Steel that day, and I think she said that they beat a Regirock, but she was not able to catch it.
Yeah, he's really hard to catch. I was getting excellent curve everything with golden raspberries, and he still would break out. It's apparently like his catch rate is lower than any other catch rate
Is he the third one that they've released?
He's the third one, yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do the Regigigas when they get to Gen 4, but you'll have to have those 3 to get them.
No, I mean, if they do Regigigas, you won't have to have them 3 to get.
No, like not as like a raid thing, as like whatever that other thing was.
I mean, there's a possibility, but they would have to remove him. They would have to not have him be a raid and make him be an actual thing that you can catch, like a definite catch. Because if you can't definitely catch him, then you're stuck waiting for the raid for a year and a half. That's BS.
Well, I only say that because, like, in the games, like, you get Regigigas by having the other 3 Regis.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they might, who knows. But yeah, so Saturday ended up being out all day with playing Pokemon Go, going food shopping, going to my parents' house and doing the, Kongswood thing. And then I was out pretty much all day. Sunday as well with me and my friends had brunch because our plans got canceled, so we made new plans. But
Look at you being a fucking adult getting brunch.
We made brunch. We had just everyone went over to a friend's house.
That's even lame.
Made brunch. No, it's better.
No,
No.
If you're getting brunch, you fucking go get brunch. What's that place that you and Sarah said has really good brunch?
The Telford Inn.
I've never heard of it.
It's down Route 45.
Okay.
They do all-you-can-eat brunch buffet on Sundays.
Nice. We originally were going to try to do Kitchen 519 had a Bros Who brunch.
I saw that online.
Yeah, but that was only on Saturday, and like of us, I could only eat one thing that was on the menu. It was their smoked platter, which I wouldn't have been complained about, and they would have brought their wives or significant others because since we had these plans and they didn't, it would have been messed up to not bring them. And one of their wives,
Bros Who brunch, dude.
One of their wives is vegetarian, and there was nothing vegetarian on that list.
Well, you know what? Like Drew just said, bros that brunch.
I know.
Ladies stay home.
But I started watching the new Netflix series, Disenchanted.
Is that the Matt Groening one?
It's the Matt Groening one. It's pretty good. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but it makes me think that they put together pretty much a quick D&D one-off, and just every episode is a different D&D one-off with just comedians or the voice actors just acting out the stupid stuff, and then they animated it. Like, kind of like Harmon Quest.
Okay.
That's what Harmon Quest is, I believe, right? Like, Dan Harmon plays D&D, and then he animates what his people do.
I believe, but
Yeah.
I believe like that's our running campaign.
Yeah. Like this isn't actually how they did it, but just like it's in a fantasy
It's
realm.
how it feels.
It just feels like they're just a bunch of stupid people playing D&D, and it's just ridiculous what they're doing.
Yeah, I've seen like the trailers for that show, and it doesn't appeal to me. But I also don't like. I grew out of The Simpsons a long time ago to the point where like that humor just doesn't do it.
To me, it's more of a Futurama humor than it is a Simpsons humor.
Okay,
But it's still that stupid humor. Like on the first episode, it's the main premise of this series is the princess is being married off for an alliance sake, and she doesn't want to. She tries to run away. They get her. They bring her to her wedding. The guy they're marrying her off to is a complete dimwit and an idiot. At one point, he walks over to grab something, and the throne that the king sits on is the Iron Throne, essentially, from Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
And he leans down and just pierces his head with one of the blades. But he's such a dimwit, he's not dead because he has nothing in his head. So it was a running joke for at least the 2 episodes I've seen, where he's just still alive with a sword through his head right next to the throne. Like, guys, I'm still here. Please just pull my head off. And like, there's a pile of blood just like trickling down further and further. There's an elf that's ridiculous, and the demon is Lucy is pretty funny too. Like, it's a funny show. It's a silly show, but it's one of those stupid humor shows.
Okay.
And the last main thing, because I don't really think I started playing Odyssey when I last was on. I don't remember.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. I beat Odyssey.
Okay, so you beat the story.
I beat the story. I need, I think it's like less than 50 stars to unlock the place after the dark side of the moon.
The darker side of the moon.
Is there really is the dark side and then the darker side?
Yeah.
Really?
Because you've been to the place, you got to the castle, right?
Yeah, I've been to the moon.
And then the place right after the moon.
It's the dark side of the moon. And then there's one more place to unlock as far as I know. At least one more.
Okay, so you beat the story, like the whole Bowser running through the
Yeah, that's
thing.
on the moon.
And then when you do that, the game takes you someplace else right afterwards.
To the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay, yes, I did. It's been almost a year. I couldn't remember if that just happened or...
Yeah, that brings you to the Mushroom Kingdom.
And I didn't want to spoil that for you by accident.
It brings you to the Mushroom Kingdom, and depending on how many stars you have, you can get to the dark side of the moon.
And then darker side of the moon.
The darker side.
I think that's the name of the place. I know it's incredibly hard.
Screw the dark side of the moon, because it's fighting all the bosses with moon physics and no healing.
Nice.
I probably spent an hour fighting the first boss, and it's the rabbit bosses, not the other bosses.
Yeah.
I spent maybe an hour fighting the first boss, and I kept dying, because you only get 3 hits, and they don't feed you with any additional hits or anything. And if you die, you have to restart it. There's no checkpoint flags or anything after it. So it's like, this is BS. So if the darker side of the moon, and it's just even harder, I'm going to be so frustrated. But my goal is to unlock everywhere, and I don't know if there's any additional endings, but...
Yeah, you need 500 power moons to get to the darker side of the moon.
Yeah, I'm at like 460 or 450. I ended the game with over 350.
So this is exactly what I thought the darker side of the moon was, and it's a big fuck you section.
I'll see it I'll probably unlock it within the next couple of days.
Yeah. That's a good game though.
It is. It's super fun. Like, I would catch myself just running around the different worlds, just trying to find everything.
Yeah.
Even after I completed it, just trying to find everything. That whole end sequence with Bowser was just amazingly awesome.
Oh, and the way that they went about that, like when you get to that point and you're not sure what to do, and then you're looking at Bowser and you're like, no. And then you do it and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. And it's just like that whole sequence was so cool. And then...
Did it take you more than one try?
I think it took me a few tries. It took me like 5 or 6 tries.
It took me 3.
It was, the thing that got me was the platforming in the 2D space. That was like, he just wouldn't jump the way I thought he was jumping, so it took me a few tries, but once I was able to figure out how to clear that, it took me 2 tries to finish the whole, like, last room, where the music changes and the floor drops beneath you and stuff. That was just, it was such a fun, ridiculous section that...
It was kind of, it had the same amount of fun like the end sequence of New Donk City.
Yeah. New Donk City was probably my favorite end sequence. Because just like the whole concert and everything going on, it was just so much fun. But I believe I've gotten most of the purple coins from everywhere. I just have like less than 9 to get in each zone. And like my goal right now is to get all the purple coins and as many stars as I can and unlock everywhere before I have a friend who wants to borrow it. I'll probably maybe let her borrow it this weekend if I see them. Well, I will see them, but if I get a chance to let them borrow it, but if not, it'll be in a couple of weeks.
Did you, have you started, since you finished it, have you gone back to some of the other kingdoms?
Yeah.
Just cause like Peaches in all the kingdoms.
Peaches in all the kingdoms, and then there's the moon rock in every kingdom.
Yeah.
That you have to hit with the hat, and then it'll explode, and there will be more moons in each kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've used guides to get like the last 1 or 2 moons in each one. Like, I won't use anything until it's like a few left. Cause then it's like it's the ones where it won't give me a hint and I can't buy one. So the bird doesn't give me a hint and I can't buy one from Toad. So it's more of I have no idea what to do here.
Yeah, and some of them are super obscure, and if you missed it, like knowing where to go to look for it is just impossible. I feel like Drew's dying over there.
Yep. I moved in the way that made my back hurt.
So look, if you get up really quick, like just stand up as fast as you can, and then do the twist, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, that would probably be like all the worst things at the same time.
I don't know. You just gotta make sure to go down and up at the same time that you're twisting, like the song. Then you'll be okay.
You should try it.
No.
Okay.
But Odyssey was it for you?
Yeah, I mean that was, as far as I can remember, that was about it. I have there was another board game I've played in the past couple of weeks called You Got Crabs, which is really silly. So you partner up in teams of 2. I don't know I think maybe 6 is the most you can have playing the game. But you partner up into teams of 2, and you and your partner...
When you say 6, you mean 6 teams or 6 people?
6 people.
Okay, so just 3 teams?
It might be 6 to 8. I don't, like, it might be like, you need at least 4 to 8 people to play the game. and it's essentially you put the cards down and they're just a bunch of different crab and crab puns. So it's like Crabdelope is a crab that looks like a cantaloupe, and like taxi crab and stuff like that. And
what was this called?
You Got Crabs. And Abracrabdabra. Like just a bunch of stupid crab puns. And the object of the game is to get 4 of the same crab in your hand, and then let your partner know so that they yell at you that you have crabs. So then you show your cards and you get a crab token. You can call it on the other people that they have crabs as well if you can catch their signal and steal one of their tokens away from them. My teammate was a 9-year-old kid, so it was a little bit more, it was a little harder for us to win, but
so you had a handicap is what you're telling me.
I had a major handicap. We probably should have gotten a couple of extra tokens. And his parents listen to this, so I hope they hear it. But it was a silly, fun game that's just like, it doesn't take a lot to understand. It's just, so it's like me and the person next to me, it would be our turn, so we would be swapping out cards until we're done and we put our deck down. And then the other person, and then we'd say that it was their turn and they would swap out cards and then put it down. And it comes back to us. If none of us need it, we'd put our decks down. If they don't need it, they put it down. You wash everything, put out 4 more, and do it again until somebody calls out, you got crabs. It's a quick game, silly, but it was fun.
Alright.
I don't think I've played anything else other than that. Mario Odyssey, which I'm still playing. I'm gonna be getting into Crash soon. Probably within the next week or so.
Alright. Hopefully you have that to talk about next week then.
Maybe. We'll see.
How about you?
I played some more Assassin's Creed Origin.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Like, they definitely changed enough of that game to make me want to play an Assassin's Creed game again. But it still feels enough like an Assassin's Creed game that there's that, like, familiarity with it.
Yeah.
I know people apparently are kind of down on the present day stuff. The little bit that I've done, I've only gotten kicked out of the Animus once so far. But the little bit that I did of it, like, it's actually pretty detailed. And I mean, maybe it's just because I spent the time and actually sat there and read everything on the girl's computer. But like, when you played most of the Assassin's Creeds, right?
Yeah, I didn't play Syndicate at all, and I haven't played, I barely played the one before it, and I haven't played this one.
So you know how, like, anytime, like, you wake up from the Animus, like, you're getting out of that weird, like, bed thing?
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of what happens, but you're just this random girl in a cave in the middle of the desert.
Okay.
And it turns out, like, you're some kind of, like, engineer genius who works for Abstergo.
Yeah.
And you are trying to get a portable version of the Animus to work, kind of, like, off the radar to prove that you belong on that team.
Interesting.
So, like, you're not related to anybody, as far as I can tell, which I think has been the case in the last few games. You're not playing your direct ancestor, you're playing, like, DNA that they inserted into the...
No, it hasn't been like that since Desmond died in Assassin's Creed 3.
So, this game alludes to Desmond, again. So, like, the girl has a laptop set up in this cave, and, like, you can go through, like, emails, and she has all these files and stuff like that. Some of the files are files on Desmond, and there's reference to, like, whatever his, like, number was, like asset 17 or something like that, or subject 17, I think
I think it was 17.
And I'm pretty sure, and I may have missed this entirely because I wasn't piecing the subject number together with who Desmond was, but I think she may have said that the DNA that you're using was subject 17's DNA.
Yeah, I mean...
Which would make sense.
Yeah, he was the link to all of it.
Yeah. So, but the guy that Bayek that you're playing as, I was telling Drew last week, he's not an assassin. Like this is like I'm assuming at some point he is going to be the person who, like, starts
it's the origin of the assassins.
Yeah. But, like, I'm assuming he will be the, like, founder of it at some point by the end of the game. But he's a magi. So, like, it's not like in 2 where Ezio was really just, like, a rich kid who didn't realize that, like, his whole family had been involved in, like, this brotherhood for generations.
Yeah.
Like, he is one in a line of magi. Like, I guess his father and grandfather were also. So, like, he has those skills already. So, like, the whole like viewpoint and jump and doing like the leaps of faith are like a thing that like they were doing already. Like his father taught him how to do it, and he taught his son how to do it. But like you murder your own son in that game.
Oh jeez.
Like unexpectedly, like it's an accident, but it's still one of those like holy shit, I didn't see that coming. And
well, thanks for spoiling it.
It's in the first 2 hours of the game.
Thanks for spoiling it.
Like the game goes better places than that.
Now I'm gonna see it coming, and it's not gonna be a holy shit for me.
You still might not see it coming because it definitely happens in like a this shouldn't be where this happens kind of moment. But yeah, I feel like the story is really just now kind of amping up.
Yeah,
because what a huge map.
Yeah, and the thing about the game, because Eric is a completionist just like I am, where you need to get everything done before. If you do that, you're going to be way overpowered.
Yeah.
He was level 50 and he wasn't even halfway through the story.
Yeah, I've been being cautious with that. I've been doing a lot of the side stuff just because a lot of the side stuff has some interesting stuff to it, and it's nice that the map shows you everything.
Yeah.
Like it shows you question marks of just areas that are not discovered yet, or in some cases there are one of the quests you get is like I think it's titled like by X Promise, and it's these stone circles that everyone you go to, you then do this weird little mini game where you're lining up stars with a constellation.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with like a thing that you did with your son where you brought him to one of these and started teaching him like how the constellations work and all.
Yeah.
So there's like 12 of these points for you to find like throughout like the world, and you can't track it on the map where it'll just show you like an exclamation point of where to go next. But every time you uncover like a new land, there are question marks all over the place. So if you just go to all the question marks, one of them is bound to be the circle, and you can do the next one. It's not this weird thing where you have to just back and forth across the map to make sure that you go across every possible like random area of the desert to maybe find this thing.
Yeah.
The combat's also a lot better than Assassin's Creed used to be. Still not great, but it's not just hold dot or hold block and like parry, which I think
they took that
got
out.
rid of
like,
that, but like
I think it was Assassin's Creed 3 where they kind of like that was like the end of it where they wanted you to not parry as much.
Yeah, and
then Black Flag was more of you actually should just be hitting.
Yeah, and like I remember Black Flag's not being great. I don't know how like Unity or Syndicate got with it, but this one like the combat feels better. Like it's still not all the way there, but it feels more like combat.
Yeah.
And the whole like level system with armor and like I remember playing Assassin's Creed 3 and I don't think I ever changed my weapon because you just didn't need to. Like sure you could and it would help a little bit, but that was the end of the era where as long as you just held on to like R1, you blocked everything and you just timed it right to parry and it was instant kill on everybody.
It was pretty much every Assassin's Creed up until 3.
Yeah.
You do nothing but use the hands and you can counter, take the weapon, and stab them all in one go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And enemies took one hit in Assassin's Creed up until 3. Even during 3, you could just take it, stab, drop it, take it, stab, drop it, take it, stab,
yeah, as long
drop
as it was some
away.
sort of like assassination attack like that, it was one hit. If you were actually just hitting them, it was multiple.
Yeah.
But this one is more of a, like, you know, you have to dodge, you have to block, you know.
Yeah.
You have a heavy and a light attack.
I think they have that in the one in France.
Unity?
Unity, yes.
So which means it was probably also in Syndicate.
Yeah.
But like, you have a talent tree, so, you know, as you progress the talent tree, you have like your assassination options where like you get poisons and bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
You have your more archery based stuff where it's archery or your bird. And I was telling Drew last week, there's no eagle vision. You actually just have an eagle or hawk. I don't know what he is. So if you need to find stuff like the way that you used to in like the other Assassin's Creed, you'd go into eagle vision and you'd like use that to like mark the people just around you. You now just call your bird and you take over the bird's perspective and you can fly around a spot and mark all the guys on your map and any items that you need to find.
Okay.
And the bird has sort of like a tracking mechanism to him. So if it's a quest thing, you'll get like this big yellow indicator.
Okay.
That will shrink down as you like home in on the area. And if you're holding R2, you actually stop moving as the bird. You're just floating so you can actually take your time. And like, if you're looking in the wrong direction for that quest item, there'll be an arrow pointing you in the right direction. And then once you're in that screen, it'll just be the circle. If you're so there's a lot of areas that just have, treasures or something to find.
Mm-hmm.
If it's one of those, they'll still, as long as you're in the vicinity of it, you'll get like a little white circle that's kind of telling you, okay, there's something worth finding over here. And if you kind of move around enough, eventually the bird will home in on it, whether it's in a building or not, which helps because finding some of that stuff, like in some of the old games, like even like Black Flag and 3, finding stuff hidden in cities was kind of tedious and not fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this, this helps. Like going into like random caves and barracks and ruins and finding like the random treasure after taking out a bunch of people, not as like frustrating or tedious as it used to be.
Yeah.
I've done almost all that I can do up to this point without getting myself too strong. Like I cleared the entire first area. I'm into the second area. The only things left from the first area are things that were too high of a level. Like it was literally I went to the area and the guys all had red skulls over their heads.
Yeah.
And the game actually told me enemies have their level above their heads. If you see a red skull, go away.
Yeah.
So like in like 5-6 levels, I have like things to go back to there, but otherwise I'm like a level or two over what the story quest is.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna like go do the story quest and then go do more of the area quests to kind of like unlock all of it.
Yeah, try to keep up on that because Eric was saying that he reached level cap so fast that he bought the DLC just to have more level.
I can understand
and
that.
He did that twice because there was 2 DLCs with 2 level cap increases.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah, because I don't want to be like overpowered, but some of this stuff just isn't like that is not necessarily a game where I don't really want to do combat in that game. Like the combat's better than it has been, but if I fuck up and I don't stealth kill as many guys as I want to, and I have to just like fight my way through like 4 or 5 guys, I'd rather be a little stronger than them just to make it quicker. Because like some of those fights, like it's not that they're hard; they just go on too long.
Yeah.
So like I spend most of my time like creeping around, assassinating people, and trying like whistling, getting them to come over, sneaking around, pulling them off boats, what have you. So like if the story quest is level 12 and I'm level 15 or 16, like that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I told you last week, the first like your first marked kill, like the first guy that you're going after. I got up to that story quest and I'm going to get him, and I killed him by accident and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So, do you remember in like the old Assassin's Creeds where like after you killed your target, you would then have to get away? Like you would do the little cutscene deal, and then you'd have to take off because they would be out to get you.
Yeah.
So I took out the first guy, didn't realize it was him. Like he was in a big group of guards, so I was gonna try and like whistle like guards over like 1 or 2 at a time. And I whistled and he came by himself. And I didn't realize it was him until I took him down, and then the guards all attacked me and I slashed, and killed him in the slash. Cause this game does a weird thing. Until you get your hidden blade, you don't kill them when you do like the stealth takedown. You just kind of like flip them over and then punch them in the face. Okay. So they literally just lay on the ground writhing in pain. But if you stand up and slash your sword over them, you kill them.
Okay.
So I did that, it killed him, and as I'm getting ready to fight this group of guys, it goes to a cutscene. And then when it goes out of it, it has just moved me on to like the next like part of the game.
Yeah.
And a similar thing happened with like a mini kill in like from a side quest that also had like a cutscene. I killed them, cutscene hit, and then it just kind of moved on. Like nobody was after me anymore.
Yeah.
Which there's not like a wanted level that I've seen really, other than if you get caught, they'll chase you a little bit, but it kind of drops really quickly. Whereas like the old games, like you'd actually have to like hide and like stay hidden for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it though.
Nice.
I also did not spend much time with it, but I loaded up WoW.
Why?
I did not pay for it. I put no money into it.
Did you get a free trial for Battle for Azeroth?
No, but they give you every other expansion up to that, and you can play up to level 20 for free.
Okay.
So I wanted to see what some of the stuff looked like. Unfortunately, if you go to Darnassus, I guess it's one of those like time portal things where you go to Darnassus, but you go to it in the past. So it's still just Darnassus.
Yeah.
But like that whole island, like Teldrassil got burned. Like it was destroyed pre-battle for Azeroth.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go see, because like when they did that for Cataclysm and like whatever the dragon's name is, like came out and like flooded the world or whatever, it changed a bunch of stuff. Like if you go to
the Barrens,
not the Barrens, but the wetlands. Yeah, the Barrens has the big crater in it now.
Yeah.
But the wetlands, that Menethil Harbor, I believe it's called, the one place that would let you, as an Alliance person, take the boat from the one continent over to the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's still flooded. Like you go there, all the houses are like half underwater and stuff.
Weren't they before?
No, it was Cataclysm that did that.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like an oceanside town. And like Cataclysm is also the one where they added a bunch to Stormwind. Like Stormwind suddenly has like a dock and everything. It's like, the fuck was this for the last 8 years?
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to go see like the giant sword that like the gods stabbed into the planet at the end of Legion. Because apparently that's what happened.
Okay.
Like, do either of you know what the story for Battle of Azeroth is?
I know basic idea is there's some mineral from the gods
there's
that
unobtainium.
Pretty much. No, it literally is pretty much unobtainium. That both sides are trying to fight to get, and they're located essentially in this cluster of islands.
Yeah, so at the end of Legion, you fight Omicron from the Transformers.
Okay.
And then you fight him, and then the other gods show up and help kill him. He is larger than the planet. I think he is like part of the planet, but also not, or something. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But like his last act before he dies is he takes his giant sword and stabs it into the planet. So like there is literally just a sword in the planet somewhere.
Yeah.
And around that sword is where this like random mineral is that both sides want. So that's why they're warring with each other again.
Yeah.
And I guess you know how like there's always been like a handful of NPC characters that are like from Warcraft lore that are, they're usually like the heads of like whatever the major city is for each faction.
Yeah.
One of them, I don't know, I want to say it was maybe like the orc head possibly.
Thrall.
Maybe Torrin. I don't remember who went and burned down Teldrassil. So like the Night Elf world tree is gone. It got burned to ash. There's this big sword in the planet and other weird shit.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because I can only play at a level 20, I loaded up a level 20 character that was technically like still playable. I'm not sure. I had 2 level 20s on my account. One of them was not playable. The other one was.
Weird.
Yeah. But I loaded up one of them and tried to go some places, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
I did not realize how much of that game had really changed though.
Oh, well, they added the otherworld areas. They added so much, because it's been, 15 years?
14.
Yeah.
So I mostly played up to Lich King. So like I played a good chunk of Northrend when they opened that up, which was the 3rd expansion. I bought Cataclysm, barely played it though. Like I got enough that like I was like a level or 2 into like that level bump.
Yeah.
Because I think Cataclysm might have been the one that was 80 to 85. So like I had a level 80. I got to like 82 and never purchased anything after that. So I think after that it was Pandaria, Lords of Draenei, and Legion.
Yeah.
Have since happened. But I didn't realize that like flight paths are just open now. Like when I had never been to that other continent with this character that I was trying out. And when I got there, all of the flight paths that are available for the Alliance up to my level were available.
Okay.
To places I had never been.
Makes sense.
Yeah, which like it was nice. Like it made that easier.
Yeah.
They also got rid of the talent tree. So I don't know if you remember, like the talent tree you used to have to like think about your shit.
Yeah.
Now like that character was a mage, so I had you still have your 3 like specifications, your arcane, fire, and ice. But it's literally just which one do you want to be right now? There's no penalty for changing. It takes like it's like a 15-second cast to change between the 3 things. And you can redo your things for each one. So it's not like putting a point into ice takes that point away from fire if I switch to fire.
Yeah.
And it's just 1 point every like 15 levels. So like you get to pick a skill, either a passive or active skill at 15, and then 30, and then 45. Like they streamlined it a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Which also, I don't know, I feel like that makes it makes it something different.
It gives it slightly more replayability because then it opens up the classes that were, like, for instance, I had a light priest. I had a healing priest. I couldn't get anything fucking done because I had a healing priest. If I had gone darkness, I would have been able to get shit done.
So,
but if I had the ability to switch, I would have had better time doing solo quests of my level than I would have.
Did you make it into Burning Crusade, or did you stop before then?
I had Burning Crusade, but I started a new character every other day. Like, I did, because that was the one thing I loved about Final Fantasies. You could just switch class and not have to redo everything. But for me, it was like, I had a rogue, I wanted a mage, I wanted a druid, I wanted this, and so I swapped out a different class every day.
So at a certain point, I don't remember if it was Burning Crusade or Lich King, it may have even been later than that. They gave you the ability to have multiple talents. So, out of your 3 talent trees, you could actually have 2 of them. Like, you could dual spec. It was like a small cost to have that option.
I think that was in Vanilla WoW when they had, like, you could have just put points into any spec.
Yes, but you can. So what I mean here is you can literally have 2 different loadouts for one character. So if you were a mage and you want it or a priest, let's say priest. So to line this up with Final Fantasy too, you know how if you're a summoner, you're basically also a scholar?
Yeah.
I think it's just one other class to 15. I think you get
the
conjurer and something else to 15, and it lets you make the arcanist a summoner and a scholar.
Yeah.
So you basically got to do that with a priest. You could have your primary spec out as a healer, but then you could buy a second option where you got all of your points still to use, and you could put them all in the shadow, and it was like a 15-second cast that you couldn't do in battle that would let you change between the 2.
Okay.
But it was still those original talent trees where, every level you got a point and you had to kind of decide, all right, I want to put this point here, but even though I'm in, the shadow branch, I still want to give, a little bit of stuff over to this healing so that if I'm in a bad spot, I have, this random healing ability to make myself back up.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
And then for when you were in groups, you would have, just the pure healer, where all of your stats were in heal.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe just because it got to the point where I think the level cap's 120 now.
Yeah.
That it was just easier to make it every 15 levels you get a point up to a certain point, because they would have had to just expand the talent trees so far that it probably would have become cumbersome.
Yeah, at one point, at level 120, they probably wouldn't have had to extend the talent tree. They probably just would have kept giving you points, and eventually you would have had points in everything anyway. So at this point, let's limit it to where you only get one or the other of each level set, but you can go to anything and you can reallocate that at any time. It just makes sense.
But yeah, I don't intend on paying for the game, but I might while I have it installed, I might load it up again and run around as, I might start a character and see what's different from level 1. Because apparently they streamlined a lot of, the early game, 1 to 20.
Okay.
And I know, you get your first mount at level 20 now, and I think you get your epic one at 40, and then you can get flying at 60.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you get, the best flying mount at, level 80 now.
Okay.
But yeah. And the last thing I did was I caught up on Batman. So he got left at the altar.
Right.
And apparently that put him in a bad place.
No.
Because who'd have thought it?
I'd imagine.
So the last 3 issues since then, it was a Mr. Freeze story, but it was Mr. Freeze on trial for murder. And the majority of the book is Bruce Wayne is in the jury.
Okay.
And it's very much a 12 Angry Men, where he is the one person trying to convince everybody else that there is reasonable doubt and that they shouldn't convict him of murder, Mr. Freeze. And he's doing that because, I guess after the fact, he realized that he brutally beat Mr. Freeze to the point where his only option was to confess to something he didn't do.
Okay.
So, like, literally, like, Batman beat Mr. Freeze so bad that it scared him into just lying. Lying to, like, get himself arrested.
Yeah.
But it was really well done, because, like, you kind of know, you know that's what's happening, but the way they kind of play out the jury stuff and having, like, Bruce Wayne arguing why Batman is a hero but fallible to these people who kind of, like, idolize him. It's like, Mr. Freeze is a villain. He always does bad things. Batman has saved every one of us in this room at one time or another. Why would we doubt him?
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I don't know, the way that whole wedding arc thing went, like, the issues leading up to that weren't bad, but they felt a little forced. And then, like, the whole thing happening, you're like, oh, I mean, that's kind of like just a cop-out. Like, you'd have all this build-up and tension leading up to this whole, like, wedding thing, and then it's just like, oh, no, like, she changed her mind and left.
Yeah.
To now, it's like, okay, yeah, like, at least this is kind of like a good fallout to that. And it ends with him actually deciding that he can't wear the kind of updated Batsuit anymore. He actually tells Alfred at one point, he's like, I can't wear the suit I was in when, like, I proposed or whatever. Like, get me the original.
Yeah.
And, like, the last page is him in, like, a very traditional Batsuit with the trunks, similar to how Superman now wears the trunks again.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of funny. Like, DC's like, let's just give them all their underwear back on the outside.
Yeah, underwear. Underwear's the best.
But yeah, that's all I have too.
Okay. Sounds neato.
Yeah, I'm liking Assassin's Creed.
Cool. Assassin's Creed. I heard this one was really good.
Yeah, you know, and I wasn't even gonna bother with it, but it was on sale like a couple months ago for like a really good sale on PSN.
Yeah.
And Odyssey looked really good.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm gonna give this a shot. Like, it's cheap enough. If it's stupid and I hate it, then I know that I'm not gonna like Odyssey.
Yeah.
But it's good enough that I'm probably gonna get Odyssey at some point, fall, winter.
Yeah. I know PlayStation's been having a huge sale going on right now.
They've been having a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the show, everybody. As Drew's microphone stand just like collapses onto him for no good reason.
Yeah, no idea why that happened.
Yeah, like you were not even touching it. It just kind of fucking fell down. That was weird.
Dumb.
But yeah, that's the show. Thanks for listening. If you want to find more of our stuff, you can go over to www.one-quest.com. You can help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. We are on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline. Twitter is at @1_quest, and so is Instagram. Drew is still very confused about his mic stand.
Yep.
You can find our podcasts on all your favorite podcast services, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Spotify. If you could like us, subscribe to us, rate us on those platforms, that would be awesome. It does help. And you can email us, social@one-quest.com. And I believe that's it. There will probably be a bunch more Gamescom news when we gather next week.
Yep.
But until then, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.